Well, I think it's who's going to have any front wings left by the end of this. Matt's coasting around, 10-second lead ahead of Paul. He's after his first TGP1 win. He's not going to put it in the wall, or Paul McGuinness is going to end up with another one. So, Paul, now you're under a little bit of pressure. Let's come to you as James leaves again. You're having a great race so far up there. Wouldn't it be a shame if you were to ruin it now?
Yeah, but I'm not going to ruin it, Mike.
Good lad, that's what we'd like to hear. So, obvious news during the week that Paggers unfortunately left the team, and did you have anything to do with it?
100% to do with me. Basically told Maurizio to get rid of him, and yeah, the rest is history.
Well, this is a Sayre Sports exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Paul McGuinness admits to getting rid of his teammate.
I'm actually getting quicker than fourth. Yeah, I know. I'm struggling that much.
This is insane.
Owen is really struggling out there, and I tell you what,
Martin's
the battle is hotting up as Martin is under pressure from Odems, because Martin has somehow lost some of his front wing. So are we going to see the Haas? He's already got past him. The hill towards Casino. He's going to squeeze him as much as he wants. And Odems is in the wall, Martin's in the wall, and they've both got damage. And Odems slips at the inside. And not for the first time in this race, those two have a coming together. But this time at least, Odems comes off better. And now he's going to put Owen under some serious pressure. As Martin goes almost straight on a hairpin, as does almost Owen. And Odems is almost changing gear for the Rebel driver. Has got a yellow flag in sector 3. Who's that for? Don't know. But let's go back to the battle for fourth. Surely into the seafront chicane. Owen's going to have a look. No, not quite. And it's very close. And on the exit then, Owen has pushed him. Ooh. That was close in the wall. Very nearly ended badly for the two of them. But somehow they come out of it facing the right way. Is Owen's going to try and move into La Rascas? He's so much quicker than Owen at the moment. He thinks better of it. He's going to have to be into La Source. We've got 2 laps left of a thrilling Monaco Grand Prix. And Odems then on the DRS, but not close enough yet. Is he going to be able to repeat his move on Martin, going up to Casino, hopefully with a little less damage? The long climb past the Hermitage Hotel into Casino Square. He's going around the outside, not quite. Into Mirabeau. There's his next chance. Owen defends the inside with all his might. He's not going to get around the outside of there, or is he? Not quite. Owens goes wide at the chicane, but see, Odems is just a little too close to actually be able to react to that. Into Portier, nothing doing there. Under the tunnel then. The slipstream is large here. As we come down into the seafront chicane again, Owen immediately goes, defends the inside. Owen's going to try him on the outside. And I tell you what, there's a little bit of brushing of wheels, and Owen's staying there at the moment. He's got the inside foot to back. Odems tries around the outside, and what a move! Odems, what a move! And Owen will be seething, but there's nothing he can do. The Haas driver was coming through, whether he liked it or not, on the fresher tyres. The less damaged front wing. And the Haas driver had had enough of staring at the back of the Red Bull. And I tell you what, Ritson is plummeting as he ends up now behind Phil. And he's now got... Who's he got behind him now? Oh, it's Ash Dawson. He's a lap down. As Phil gets up into 6th, Ritson is really struggling with that damaged front wing. And he's going to have to watch out Ash Dawson. He's going to try and unlap himself. But he's got about a half a lap to go before taking his maiden TGP1 victory. And all he had to do was keep his nose clean in the end. And, well, and he didn't even do that. But it's been a tremendous drive from Matt. He will almost be waving to the fans. The fans go wild as Brown Larascas comes the Renault driver into the last corner, and on the power for one more time. Matt up to the line, wins his first TGP1 Grand Prix under the lights in Monaco for the first time. And he'll make this a special night as Paul McGuinness joins him up there on the podium, and somehow Johners is going to join him there as he finishes the race with no front wing. And an incredible drive from the man from Harlow. He comes home third. Odems will be disappointed in the end with 4th, but there's nothing more he can really do. Owen, a very good drive from him in 5th. Phil is going to come home 6th. So good points for Red Bull there. Ritson is going to be 7th, despite an awful race. He could have been so much higher. You would have said a former winner here, of course. Martin, he would have wanted so much more, but he's going to have to settle for 8th. And Chiapelli in the Sauber is going to be next across the line. He's had a very quiet race, actually. I've almost forgotten you were here, Luca. Sorry. But the Sauber driver, the man from Italy, who quite fancies that Ferrari role, it's going to come home 9th. And it's going to be James, after a fantastic qualifying, who's going to have to settle for 10th.
I'm under investigation for dangerous driving. Fuck off.
Oh, so we're getting some live feed there, so excuse the language, but we hear that Owen is actually under investigation for some dangerous driving at the moment, so not quite sure what that's about, but his first win then. Matt takes it for Renault, and what a good haul of points that is for them in the Constructors' fight as well. It's 2 wins this season so far for Renault from both their drivers, and it's a great drive as well from Paul to join the two of them up there to split them in the end, as the celebrations will continue long into the night in Monaco. So let's have a rundown of the order then. So Matt takes his first win in TGP1 under the lights in Monaco. The fireworks are off as he wins his first race. Paul came home in second. A great drive, up 9 positions just by keeping his nose clean. Jonas barely had a nose left by the end of it. He came home in third. Odem's a good recovery drive in the end, you have to say, but would have wanted so much more in 4th for the championship leader. Owen in 5th, but we hear is under investigation. Phil in 6th. Ritson came home 7th. Martin in 8th. Chiapelli 9th. James in 10th. Alex on his first night and season in 11th. Demon Ash in 12th. And then the retirees of Jamie, Dom, and Jack Pearson, of course. Well, that has been your Monaco Grand Prix, and we'll see you in Hungary.
And it is over to Mike Noon.
Hello and welcome everyone to round number 6 of season 29 of TGP1. We're here in a very damp, soggy and wet Hungary for qualifying. It's our 3rd wet qualifying of the season, and well, some drivers don't seem to think it's as wet as others, as you can see from the top 3, 2 of them are on the intermediate tyres. So after a very action-packed and eventful Monaco Grand Prix, which eventually saw a maiden win for Matt after some 2 of his challengers fell by the wayside of Jamie and Odem's. It was left to him to keep his nose relatively clean and pick up his first race win under night sky at the Monaco Grand Prix. So, if my maths is correct, Odems is still the leader of the championship as we head into Hungary. However, obviously, it could all change if something drastic were to happen. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get anywhere near the pole time of last season, which was set by Jake, who unfortunately can't join us this week, as he set a 17.3. But as said, nothing really worth mentioning regards to the times, because it's going to be completely different. But the man you can see currently at 2nd on the grid is a former pole sitter here in season number 23, Jack Pearson. And in fairness, despite being 8/10 off the pace at the moment, you have to say, he might still end up where he needs to be. The top 3 from last year was Softy, Jake and Jean. Unfortunately, only one of those drivers are with us tonight, and one of them's currently on pole, so clearly not exactly a bad win for, or bad track for the Renault driver. And the previous Renaults here were Chris Thurgood, Bullet, Jean and James are all the people who have also taken wins here, as well as Softy, who's the only multiple Hungarian Grand Prix winner in the PS4 era with 2, but of course is absent tonight, so won't have chance to add a 3rd. So just under 3 minutes to go. Let's give you a little rundown of the orders. Most of the drivers are now starting to come out on the intermediate tyres, thanks to the top 2 times being that bit more competitive. So Jonas currently on pole by 8/10 on the intermediates. Jack Pearson in 2nd, as said, set his time on the intermediates. Championship leader Odems in 3rd on the wet tyres, but I imagine going out on the intermediates very soon, as Matt is in 4th, last time's race winner. Phil Bargewell has always been there or thereabouts this season. He's in 5th at the moment. Paul McGuinness, a fantastic 2nd place for him last time out in Monaco. His first podium of the year. Maybe the confidence boost has come after his teammate being ousted out of the team. He sits in 6th at the moment. Martin, very unlucky in the last race. Probably should have done a lot better as we've got a car off at the moment. That's not very good. But he's in 7th. Owen in 8th. Ritson currently in 9th. Chiapelli in 10th. Dom Smith in the gravel, but also in 11th. Alex Coates making his first appearance this week of the season, sits in 12th. Demon Ash making his also first appearance with us tonight. Will we see a bit more of him for the rest of the season? We'll have to find out. Red Bull Kim's also joining us, but won't be making any further than qualifying. And Jamie Day is the last driver out there. So, little recap. Chiapelli has just improved into P5 on the intermediate tyres. Odems has just improved to P1 on the intermediate tyres, going 1.5 seconds quicker than Jonas. Demon Ash goes up into 3rd. Great lap from him from the time being, as the times are starting to tumble with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So everyone is currently on their last laps, or about to start their last laps anyway. Martin's jumped up to 2nd. Good lap from him. Just 4 tenths off of Odems, but everyone will be getting quicker. Who have we got on a quick lap? We've got yellow flag in sector 2, and that's for Dom Smith off again. Disaster for the Sauber driver so far. As we got out there on quick laps or nearing the end of lap at the moment. John is out there and coming towards the end of sector 2. He's on that lap, sorry. He will just about make it across the line. Matt is also only just about to make it over the line, so it's going to be touch and go for him. Phil Bargewell, I don't know whereabouts on track he is, but he's on an out. He's right, it's going to be touch and go for those drivers. As we got 20 or 30 seconds left to go. And Matt is just coming towards the last corner, so he should be alright. Phil is just coming to the last corner as well, so he too should be okay. Owen then is going to be our next driver to complete a lap, and will get another one after this attempt. Where's this going to put him? He's currently P10. They want to go up the order as much as possible. Good in the wet conditions. Owen goes up to P3. Great lap from Owen. Paul's gone fastest in the meantime. Well, he was fastest until Odem's come up at that time, and he will get another lap as well, just crossing the line in time. Jamie Day is the first person to cross the line and take the checker flag. He's going to be 7th. Ash Dawson, a great 8th place for him in the McLaren. Who else have we got near the end of a lap at the moment? We've got Martin come out to the line. Where's he going to go? He goes 3rd. So good lap then from Martin.
Fuck.
Owen has put it in a wall, and I saw him just at the corner of my eye lose control, and he's lost a bit more than control now. Alex is going to be no better than 12. Disappointing from him when his teammate is right up there top. Jack Pearson now coming up to the last corner. Is he going to improve? Ritson's up to 5th. Jack Pearson up to the line. Where's this lap going to put him? He puts him 6th. So good lap from him. Paul finishes no better than 2nd. Great qualifying from him. He's really found his form. Let's watch Chiapelli then. Into the last couple of corners. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure who that's for. But Chiapelli is going to be next across the line. Odems is going to be no better than a 30.3. Is Chiapelli going to beat him? I highly doubt it, but you never know. Chiapelli moves up to 7th. Where's Jonas going to go? He's next across the line. He goes.
Yes! Yeah!
Where's Matt going to go? He's next across the line. 3rd. And Phil Bargewell goes 4th. So now we just wait for Dom Smith. Is he going to go pole? No. Woo! No, he doesn't. Jonas gets another pole position then. It's 2nd or 3rd of the season. And the man from Harlow will be over the moon with that one. So let's have a rundown of the order. So it's a Renault on pole. Jonas on pole position. Odem's championship leader in 2nd. Matt, last time out race winner, in 3rd. Phil Bargewell, good effort from him in 4th. Paul, it was looking so good for a front row start in the Ferrari, but he'll be 5th. Martin, the highest of the Renaults, in 6th. Owen in 7th place. Ritson, good qualifying from him in 8th. Jack Pearson up there as well in 9th. Chiapelli in 10th. Jamie well down there in 11th. That's not good from him. Demon Ash was looking good for him as well, but he's going to be 12th. Dom Smith in 13th. And we got Alex in 14th. And unfortunately, our resident Dane is backing up the grid in the Williams, standing in for his compatriot, Smokey J. Skip, skip, skip.
Accrington, the overall score.
What is it?
2-0 Accrington.
Oh, bollocks.
Wait, mate.
So then, the drivers are getting ready. The sun in Budapest, a beautiful city. We're just outside the city, but we wouldn't want to be in it at the moment because this is where the action is going to be happening for the next 20 to 25 minutes. So the drivers are just about ready as we line up for hopefully what will be a spectacular Hungarian Grand Prix. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 lights in TGP1, and lights are out and away we go. It's a good start for Jonas. Both Renaults have got away well. Jonas comes across immediately to cover Odems. Matt has had to take evasive action from Odems, but has also got alongside him, and Owen's fancying a bit now as well up the inside of the Haas driver. That's not Owen, that's Phil. Sorry, Owen. As the two Renaults, though, are battling in first and second. But at the moment, Matt's trying up the inside. They avoid contact for the time being. Phil runs wide in the background, and it's Jonas at the moment who is in the lead. And up then to the tricky turn 4. And it's still Jonas, the leading Renault. And Matt's all over his tail as Odem loses a bit of his wing on the back of Matt as he had to come across and defend from Jonas. Paul is still there, Phil is still there, and Jack Pearson's up to 6th, but not for long. As Owen gets past him, there's a bit of argy-bargy and people running wide in the background.
Now, for sure.
And Owen has now dropped down to 8th as he's behind Ritson, and is now under pressure from Martin as well. Chiapelli's down to 11th, unfortunately for him. Now Jack's up to 13th, but it's Jonas who leads. And it's had a fantastic start for him for the time being. So now towards the end of lap 1, it's a Renault 1-2. Odems is falling back a bit from the top 2 as we believe he has damage. Paul McGuinness now could be on for his second podium of the night and is challenging the championship leader. It's Ferrari Power versus Ferrari Power. Odems goes very defensive. Paul's going to have to try around the outside. And Phil's running to the back of Paul. Big damage for Phil. And that could put Jack Pearson up into 5th place. Of course, a former pole sitter here. He knows his way around this track very well. And that damage for Phil could be very costly around such an aero key track. But it's the two Renaults who lead, 1.5 seconds from the leading Haas driver, with Paul climbing all over the back of him. They want to get past as soon as possible.
Oh, jeez.
As Jack Pearson has a little bit of a moment coming out of the turn there. Now he's got a Force India for company. Climbing over the curves more than Joe Sayre was climbing over the cushions in Southampton. And as they come towards the end of lap 2, it's getting very tight indeed. And what has happened to Jamie Day? He has lost his front right tyre, and that is his Hungarian Grand Prix over. And what a disastrous evening he's had. I don't know what happened then, unseen by me. Phil Bardwell has had to pit with that damage. But the two Renaults are still going at it at the front, and at the moment Jonas is still holding on to his advantage. There's no moves further down the grid so far.
Fucking hell, Martin.
And Martin and Owen are having a right old tussle at the moment. We heard Owen moaning over the team radio. And Martin's going to want to be careful, as is Owen, as he's still apparently under investigation from the previous race.
So
we've got a virtual safety car. So, was that a wise call from Phil to pit? I think, unfortunately for him, it just came out a little too late. Now, all the drivers, of course, during a virtual safety car, keeping to the Delta times. Very specific time they have to arrive at certain points at. Neutralises the race and doesn't ruin it for having to get out a safety car and await everything to get going again. I'm not quite sure where it's ending, but all the drivers are going to be ready and waiting. And one of them particularly is going to be Matt, who's going to want to take this opportunity to try and leapfrog his teammate. The beauty with virtual safety car is DRS is immediately enabled. Odems close to the back of these two. I don't know if we're coming to an end at the moment.
Yeah.
And here we go. We're back underway. And the top three, line astern. Paul's dropped back a bit, and Matt is straight on the DRS. Is he going to be able to have a run at Jonas? I don't think he's close enough, but that won't stop him. Jonas has to go defensive, and maybe down into turn 2 he can have a look instead. Jonas runs a little bit wide. A great exit from Matt, but I think Jonas has got enough of a gap, has he? He has for the time being. Those two are not going to want to take out each other. Odems is still lurking in the background. Paul's dropped back a bit, as said, unfortunately. Jack Pearson's 3 seconds behind these now and got Ritson for company. Owen's still on the back of Martin as well. It's going to be interesting how those two go. Dom Smith all over the back of Alex as well, but dropped back a little bit when we cut to him, as Matt is still trying to get past his teammate and is being put under piles and piles of pressure by Odems. And Paul is just lurking at the moment, hoping that all these three run into each other.
Would be nice.
I suppose it would, really. Make things a bit interesting. Anyway, towards the end of lap 4 then, the top 4 separated by less than 2 seconds. And they are line astern, and it's just going to be Jonas that doesn't have DRS. But thankfully for him in Hungary, that doesn't make too much of a difference. Jonas then completes another lap as we head on to lap 5, and pit stops are soon going to play a crucial part in these drivers' pursuit of a race victory, as Demon Ash has pitted from 10th place and got a 5-second stop and go penalty for the privilege of speeding in it.
2 seconds.
And as these 3, 4 even, still remain as they were. Phil Bardwell's got ahead of Kim in the meantime, who at the moment is going to be scoring a point. As they head towards now middle way through sector 2, here's another good overtaking spot, but for the time being, none of them are close enough to make a lunge. Odems runs very wide on the exit of that corner. He's going to got some grass on his tyres there, which you don't want to lose the grip for. And these 4 pulling clear of Jack Pearson and Ritson in 5th and 6th. Martin has now got a bit of a gap to Owen. That will be good news to him. As Paul's having a look at the championship leader there. Paul's getting a little bit racy. This is the Paul we haven't seen so far this season. This is welcome. So welcome, Paul. And here we go then. Surely this is as close as Matt has been so far this race. Surely he's going to be able to put a move on Jonas into turn 1.
Whoa,
oh!
whoa.
He's out!
Jonas
Huge lag. He lagged into the back of Jonas. I don't know if Jonas lagged backwards into him, but he lost his front wheel.
You're fucking kidding me. Oh,
The man
for fuck's sake.
who won the last race finds himself with 3 wheels in his wagon parked up on the start-finish straight. Disaster for Renault. Disaster for Matt.
I can't... Wow, okay.
Whoa.
Oh, Ritten's off. No, Roger isn't. Odems has somehow gone off. He's gone off twice and Paul's into 2nd. I don't know if Odems has got some damage maybe from the Matt incident, but the Haas driver is struggling. And what was a quartet has now become a duo.
I can't believe that's just fucking happened, though.
And we're hearing on the team radio the disbelief as somehow the 2 Renault drivers came together going down the start-finish straight. Jonas has got away with it, and the biggest winner of all this is Paul. We did say he was lurking, waiting for an incident. Unfortunately, 3 of them weren't taken out. One of them was, and the other one seems to have got damage. And is dropping back quite quickly. Paul McGuinness then, the DRS, has a great chance of winning here now then. Taking the first win for Ferrari this season would be a privilege, as Matt leaves the circuit, and we'll see him next week. Jack Pearson's in the pits in the meantime. We thought he was struggling on tyres because his pace was dropping. He goes onto the soft compound. As he rejoins the track in 9th place. Crucially, still ahead of Phil Bardwell, but not ahead of Dom Smith, or is he? Dom runs wide, and Jack Pearson doesn't wait around to get stuck behind the Sauber driver. But we've still got Paul putting some huge pressure on Jonas, who's going to have to be aware of what's going on in his mirrors. Odems is starting to catch these two again, so we don't know if that was just a brief sort of technical glitch maybe with the car. It was just struggling for a couple of laps maybe. But he's not falling back quite as quickly as he was. But Jonas is really struggling out there at the moment. I don't know if his tyres are going. Are we going to see him dive into the pits? No, neither does Paul, but Odems does. He said that now is a good time. Will he change his front wing? I think if he's got damage, he'll have to. Around here, it's so crucial. And what tyres is he going to go onto as well? That pushes Ritson up to third. The Force India driver having a quiet race, but finds himself in a great position. And are we going to see a front wing change? We are. So, as we thought, the championship leader did get some front wing damage earlier. And then maybe it got made worse when Matt had his collision. But it's not going plain sailingly for the Haas driver. And also we've got Owen in the pits as well. Goes onto the soft tyres. Jack Pearson jumps Odems in the stops. Is Owen's going to come out ahead of Dom? Yes, he is. And Phil is still ahead of his teammate as well. Dom Smith goes wide into turn one and Phil gets through. I wonder if Dom just sort of let him. But back to the battle at the front then. 7/10 separates the top two.
Whoa, Jonas is lagging. Jeez.
And you would have thought that Paul might have tried the undercut on him maybe.
I'm rusty.
And Paul and maybe the Ferrari strategists are a bit rusty. But for the time being at least, as we were, it's going to be interesting to see where these guys come out in relation to the likes of Odems. That's Jonas pits. He thinks now's the best time, and Paul is let loose for a lap. Gets it slowed down comfortably with the longest stop. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out actually in relation to Jack, who of course pitted a little bit earlier. Would have those couple of laps on the fresh tyres maybe put him in contention.
Unbelievable.
You're lagging,
And Jack's around the last corner.
as well.
He's stuck behind Alex.
I've got Dom's lag.
And where's Jonas?
Oh my
Jonas
god,
has
it's
gone.
going to kill me.
As Jack Pearson makes a move on the Haas driver and gets through.
Jack's lagging loads on mine as well.
We've got some lag issues, unfortunately, at the moment. Let's hope that doesn't
Yeah,
make too much
this
of an
is the
issue.
game, this is the game, not any of us, because it's weird lag.
It does seem to be a little bit patchy, unfortunately. Let's hope, as we said, that doesn't ruin the race. Paul McGuinness then will surely come to the pits at the end of this lap to not avoid disappointment. I'm coming out too far behind Jonas. I think he should have come in earlier, you know. I think he could have
Oh,
put
I've
in an
got Red Bull
undercut.
Kim in front of me, for fuck's sake.
But Jonas makes a little mistake.
Get him out the fucking way.
And is stuck at the moment behind a Williams.
Oh, bloody hell, Dom's lag, for fuck's sake.
It's the game, it's
Kim
not
gets
the
out the
lag.
way
No one's
for Jonas. Paul's in the pits. We're still having some lag issues.
lag is
Front
nuts.
wing off.
Owen's lost some of his front wing, we're hearing on the team radio. Martin pits as well and gets another stop. Martin, there's a thing called a pit lane speed limiter and a brake, man. Chiapelli can get it stopped. Jeez. Jonas then surely going to come out ahead of Paul, as he does, but not by much. And Paul's got it all to do still, but will have slightly newer tyres.
Oh my
And-
fucking god.
And Jack Pearson is up to fourth, and we've got Ritson who is leading, but and he's on soft tyres. I did not notice that. The Force India is in a great position at the moment on the more durable tyres.
Oh
Really be
no,
able
not
to
Kim.
make the last stint work for him, and I think at the moment the final podium position is going to go to either Jack, Ritson or Odems. I mean, the favourite of that has got to be Odems for sure, but it's difficult to overtake here as he gets held up a little bit by Kim there, does Odems. And in the background we've got a great fight. Alex holding up Phil, holding up Martin, but maybe not Phil for much longer as he tries to move, and they're both in the wall.
Ridiculous. Oh shit.
And that was... And Jack Pearson's out. He went wide, he's done a Pascal Wehrlein, and his podium chances are well and truly gone. Oh, and Chiapelli's running to the back of Alex. Disaster.
I got no front wing because
Alex, what happened?
I got taken out by Phil, and then I've got no front wing. I've got nothing left.
But thank you very much, Alex. As we've seen, Odems Ritson's pitted, and Odems has come, or Ritson, sorry, has come out behind the Haas driver, but it's going to be on the super soft tyres, fresh rubber. Surely we'll be able to close the gap quite soon. Phil has fallen behind Martin in all of that incident. He'll be gutted in that, and surely something will go to the stewards about that. You'd have to say. Alex in the pits then, changing the front wing, such a slow process, and Demon Ash has jumped him into 8th, and Owen might even jump him into 9th. Disaster for Alex, disaster for Haas, but the top two are separated by half a second. Paul is not leaving Jonas alone for no man nor beast. Ooh. But runs a bit wide there. Paul's going to have to keep an eye on that. Doesn't want to afford any mistakes. There's still some great points for the Ferrari team, but we all know that Paul's a racer. He's going to want that victory with all his heart, and all of Italy's heart going with it.
Mike, extra lead.
Oh my God, extra to lead. We're getting promoted, boys. It's actually happening.
Fuck's sake.
Odem sets the fastest lap, and before we know it, he could be involved in this battle as well. But Jonas, like he was in Spain, is just doing enough to hold on to it. Could we have 2 Renault wins in the same night? Crikey. I don't think that's happened since Jonas was teammates with Mike.
Whee!
Shameless plug.
Plug.
So, Paul McGuinness, 6 attempts off his first win in as many races. And he'll want to do it for Ferrari. He's so close to that Renault. He can almost smell what sort of engine oil he's using and how much KERS he's using in each given corner. Not that I'm sure you can smell that, but Paul is not letting Jonas go, and will want to make a move while a move is still possible. But he's almost pushing Jonas round the final couple of corners. Something's happened to Owen, but we're watching the battle for the lead. Jonas is going to have to go defensive. Paul McGuinness is going to surely try something. Jonas protects the inside line. Paul doesn't make a late lunge. Ritson sets the fastest lap in his pursuit of Odems. Jonas runs wide. Paul's on the DRS. Coming now down to turn 2. The Renault, the Ferrari, side by side. And Jonas, at the moment at least, hangs on. But for how much longer? Coming up now to turn 4. Not really an overtaking opportunity, you must say. And it's as they were for another lap at least. And do you have to say, at least, that's probably Paul's best chance he's had. And should he have just made a late lunge? Should he have just gone for it? And put the honours on Jonas to not make sure there was a collision.
Odems is fucking flying.
Odems is flying, but so is Ritson, who's keeping tabs on him at the moment. Owen is trying to put a move on Alex Coates into the first corner, and does so. Runs a little bit wide, and Alex says, thank you very much, I'll have that back, but only for the time being. Coming now down to turn 2. Owen, it's surely going to take 9th place from the man from Somerset, and he does. The Red Bull moves ahead of the Haas, and that could be crucial for the constructors.
Back to Paul McGuinness.
But Paul is all over Jonas this time. Come on, Paul, surely. Just send one. Oh, not quite. He's going to try around the outside. I'm clutching at straws. Jonas pushes Paul off. And they stay as they were for another lap. But this is fantastic racing between the two veterans of TGP. Are really fighting it out to win the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Odems is 2 seconds. It was 3.
And Odems is now just 2.2 off. Ritson's a further 3 back. So could those two play a part towards the end of the stint? Jonas has gapped Paul a little bit now. I think Paul, just think he should have just gone for it. I do wonder, because Odems is going to catch up, and he will not wonder whether he should or not. But Paul is still just half a second off, and all he needs is one mistake from Jonas, one slight lock of the brake, one slight over-exuberance on the loud pedal, and he will be right there when he needs to As I said, if not, there's a very keen Haas doing about 1.7 seconds time. Well, literally 1.7 seconds, that's quite a gap to make
Actually,
up.
it's a bit 1.7.
Mike, I've got a cup of tea and a Magnum. Would you like one?
Oh, yeah, you're off, mate. Cheers. But in the meantime, back to the battle at the front. Paul's on the DRS, but not close enough this time. And as you might have saw, we're very privileged again tonight to have Bernie Ecclesdom join us.
Hey.
So, Bernie, how do you think tonight's racing's going so far?
Well, firstly, it was good to see Monaco at night, and Paul McGee, standout performer of the night, on for a second consecutive second-place finish.
When did Dom get
give
here?
him a medal. Give him a medal. I've been all race, Paul. But yeah, it's good to see Paul doing good. It's good to see John is clawing points back on Odems. And yeah, I mean, it's good to see Alex is holding me up still. But yeah, I'm enjoying the race, Mike.
You're 20 seconds behind.
Mate, you're a fucking slow coach. It's like Liverpool trying to play extra in the FA Cup.
24.5 seconds behind. You're
ahead already.
turbulent air, boys.
Anyway,
So
quite
Bernie,
fun.
sorry, just quickly. I mean, obviously, the season seems to be turning on its head. It looked like the first couple of rounds that Owen's had this sorted, but a couple of not his best rounds, and suddenly Jonas is right back in this, and both Renaults really would have been, but had it not been for Matt's earlier incident. And how do you see this sort of going further ahead in the season? Do you hope this continues?
I mean, to be fair, I'm surprised by Jonas's pace. It's good to see though. It's good to see that he's keeping up with Odems. So at the moment, doing better than Odems. I mean, Odems has shown that he can make a lot of mistakes. So it's good to see that the fight's going to be there. But I mean, it's going to be another 2 race winners this season. Good to see more variety of winners. And I think this championship could go right down to the wire. Mine.
Fantastic, that's brilliant. Thanks, Bernie. We'll surely come back to you again after the race. But for the time being, there's 3 laps and 3 cars who could, 3 drivers at least, that could still win this race. Ritson has dropped off the boil a little bit. He's very much hard-boiled now. But the ones who are right in the sweet spot for the dipping are Jonas, Paul and Odems. And one of these 3 surely is going to come away with the winner's trophy. But which one? Because Jonas is just 2.5 tenths clear of the Ferrari, who is just 6 tenths clear of the Haas. And this is as close as Paul has been all race. And we just have to hope that that Sauber in front doesn't get in the way. Paul runs a little bit wide, as did Odems in the background. And has that been Paul's chance gone for this lap already? And now is he going to have to defend from the Haas driver instead, who's just 2.5 tenths back? Jonas then might get I think he will get DRS, which are going to put pace to this lap, and for another lap at least. Paul's going to have to wait. The Sauber gets nicely out of the way, and he does have DRS. But these 3...
Cheers, Dom.
Oh, what?
At the moment are well gapped, and we have 2 laps to go. And you have to say, only 2 more chances for Paul to win this. And if Odems is going to win this, he's going to have to get past Paul as soon as possible. Is the man from Harlow going to do it? Or is the man from Scotland going to do it? Or is the man from Ireland going to do it? 3 countries, 3 teams, 3 drivers, 1 winner's trophy. And Odems is pushing Paul, and he's going to have a look into the chicane, and this is give Jonas all the breathing room he needs. And you have to say, Paul's had his chance, and Odem now wants it. But they're not exactly dropping back from Jonas. Interestingly, despite battling, Jonas is not scarpering away. Paul runs wide again. Odem surely is going to have a look into this corner. He tries around the outside, and Paul has to go defensive.
Jonas
This is
needs to get
losing
Paul DRS.
time.
It'll help Jonas if Paul gets DRS.
I think he's got DRS anyway. I just can't get away.
Paul will have DRS, being just 7.5 tenths back. And I think John has done enough to win this.
Not over yet. 1 more lap.
1 lap to go. And into turn 1. Odems makes a late lunge.
Whoa!
And
What
gets
are you
through.
doing?
He can't do
And
that.
he's done what Paul
That is
maybe
not-
should have done earlier on. Is Paul going to try one
Oh,
back?
dear.
He has a look, but can't make it stick. And Odems moved up into 2nd place.
That's the way you want to play it.
And Paul is all in the slipstream into turn 4. Nothing for Paul yet. The red mist will surely come down on the red driver. And is Odems going to be able to get close enough to Jonas to try and move? Paul can't get close enough. Dom Smith is out of the running. And
That is not
Odems
on.
just 3 attempts behind Jonas, Is he going to be able to make a move coming into one of the last corners? The man from Ireland, the Haas driver, is getting close. Jonas has to go defensive. And could he try the whippity wop, the flop stop? Jonas goes defensive immediately. Round the outside, is he going to try? Paul outbreaks himself in the background. Jonas is doing everything he can, but lag.
What is that lag?
And Jonas
Karma's her bet, Janet.
saves his race victory and wins in Hungary. Paul does finish second, and Odems is in third place. Ritson comes home fourth. What an exciting last couple of laps we had. Martin will be fifth. Phil Bardwell, we barely mentioned him, he'll be sixth. Chiapelli is going to come round in seventh. He's had a very quiet race as well. As we wait for this Alba driver now to come around the last corner. And he will be seventh. Owen Quimby, and a further 19 seconds back, will be eighth. Alex Coates is only 2 seconds clear.
Martin's had a crash after the finish.
And Owen will come around the last corner now to finish eighth. Alex is going to get a ninth place, but it could have been so much higher. He weaves across the line. Ash is going to be 10th. But that is your Hungarian Grand Prix. And what a battle we had. Unfortunately, it was decided by lag a couple of occasions. But it's Jonas who takes his second win of the year after another fantastic defensive drive. There he is. It's a second win for the night on Renault. Paul gets his second place. And Odems completes the podium. And Jonas has taken some serious points off his championship rival Odems, who looked like he could have won it. But it's the man from Harlow who says, this isn't over yet. Do not discount me. As they have their photographs now, we'll have a rundown of the order again. So, Jonas wins the Hungarian Grand Prix from pole position. Paul second, what so nearly could have been. Odem similarly could have had his win, but not quite. Would have been a great comeback drive. Ritson in fourth for the Force India. Martin in fifth. Phil Bardwell in sixth. Mr. Chiapelli in seventh place. Owen came home eighth. Alex in ninth, and Ash rounding out the top 10. Dom Smith came home 11th. Kim in 12th in the Williams. In 13th, Jack Pearson after his crash. It could have had a podium. And then we had Matt retired earlier on in 14th, and Jamie out on the first lap, creating the virtual safety car, coming home in 15th place. So that was week number 3 then of TGP1. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. 2 cracking races, I thought. And we all very much look forward now to next week's races, where we're at Malaysia, we're at Japan for week number 4. This has been Sayre Sports. I've been Mike Noon. We'll see you next week.